Hello guys, in today's knowledge module we'll talk about the future contracts. We'll see that what are the main differences between the future contracts and the forward contracts, and we will also see how the future hedging works and how the forward hedging works. So the future contract, they are they are similar to the forward contracts. The purpose is actually the same, that to buy a specific currency by exchanging another currency at a specific exchange rate on a specific date. And it's an obligation as well. Once you enter into the future contract, you cannot simply back off like what happens in the forward contract. So for example, if you are expecting to receive on 21st November or after 21 days, so let's suppose whatever is the day today, and you entered into the contract, and the contract will be expiring in 21 days, and you are say a Canadian citizen, and you are expecting to receive after 21 days the US dollar 100,000. You'll go into the market, the forward or future market, and in this case we are talking about the future. And if the future contract says that against each US dollars, so US dollar is the base currency and Canadian dollar is the price currency, and the price currency is 1.2 units for each unit of the base currency, which is US dollar. It means that if you enter into such a contract at this rate today, then after 21 days you will be paying 100,000 US dollars, and in exchange you will be receiving Canadian dollars 120,000, right? So simply 1.2 into 100, and you will be receiving this. And once you entered in the contract over here, this transaction, like where you will be paying 100,000 US dollars and receiving 100,000 Canadian dollars, this is an obligation. You cannot simply back off and say, I do not have 100,000. Even if you do not have 100,000, let's suppose you were expecting to receive from some party, you still have to buy from the open market and pay it to the counterparty with which you have entered into the transaction. So this is the same thing for the forward and the future contracts. Now, what is the difference then for the future contract? Purpose is the same. Why we want to maybe hedge our position. Our asset currency in this case is the US dollars, and if the asset currency will depreciate, means on this after 21 days, say if the base currency depreciates, when base currency depreciates, this currency always go down. Say if it happens to be 1.1 units of Canadian dollar, then by paying 100,000 Canadian dollar in the open market after 21 days, you will be only receiving 110,000 Canadian dollars. So you can clearly see there is a loss of the 10,000, because if you would have entered into the contract and hedge your position, you have gotten 120,000. But if after 21 days, if you'll wait and go, and if your asset currency depreciate, you will be only receiving 110,000, 10,000 less compared to what if you would have hedged your position. So the purpose is same, in short, for both for the future contracts and the forward contracts. But there are differences, and the differences is that how they are traded, the mechanism through which they are traded, and the essential characteristics of these contracts. So for example, the first difference is that the forward contracts are traded in the interbank market, where the counterparty might be most probably another bank, and the future contracts, they are traded on the exchange. The second difference is that the future contracts are usually standardized and they are flexible, and because they are standardized and forward contracts are customized, so customized things are mostly expensive. So the future contracts are less costly compared to the forward contract, and they are standardized. And now, what do we mean by standardized? For example, if you are expecting to receive euros after say 3 months, and that euro is say 125,000 euros, then such you can simply want to, and you are say American citizen in this case, you go on to the exchange and agree to sell 125,000 units of the euros, and you can only do it if the on the exchange each contract would be of this size. If the exchange says that under one contract you can only sell 100,000 euros, then you can sell one contract of 100,000 euro, and the rest 25,000 you cannot sell in the future through the future contracts, and you might remain unhedged for that 25,000, or you can simply sell in the forward market. Now, if the exchange says that each future contract covering euros is consisting of 125,000 units of euros, then yes, you can sell all of your 125,000 euros in through the future contract. So it depends what is the standard or what is the size of each contract of a specific currency on the exchange rate. The third difference, which is most important, is that there is no risk in case of future contracts, because the counterparty in this case is exchange, and the exchange actually take all the loss. Through the mechanism of mark to market, they ensure that what is actually the price by the day end of each future contract, and if let's suppose they feel that there is a like some party needs to put some deposit or deposit some more money into their margin account, they simply ask them to do it, and all the parties will have to pay into the margin account. And in short, if there will be any issue, all the loss will be taken up by the exchange, and there is no risk of the counterparty risk. In case of forward, we know that there is a counterparty risk. Say on the specific date, continuing with the same example of 21 days, on the 21st day, you still have 100,000 US dollar, but your counterparty who was supposed to pay you 120,000 Canadian dollar, they simply do not have 120,000 Canadian dollar for some reason. And if they back off, yes, their reputation will become bad, but still it's your risk, because you needed to get 120,000. You now might not be concerned about the reputation. Now you are more concerned that where are my 120,000, and you are stuck with your US dollar 100,000. And if you need to pay the salaries of your Canadian employees, and you heavily depend on this 120,000, then yes, you are at stake and you are subject to the counterparty risk in case of the forward contract, but not in case of the future contract, because the exchange take up all the loss, and exchange ensures that your contract should be settled. Let's suppose if the contract you saw through the contract you sold 100,000 US dollars, and you will get 120,000 Canadian dollar by all means on the maturity date. Future contracts are more liquid compared to the forward contract. It's very easy. You can buy and sell future contracts many times before its maturity. Let's suppose if you were expecting 100,000, the same example I'm continuing, and you sold maybe in the future contract of 120,000, 100,000, you can take the opposite position as well, and many times the future contracts can be sold very easily, and they are very liquid market, because exchange are very liquid. There are many buyers, many sellers who are ready to take up your contract, so it is possible. Now the future contract, they start traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange in 1972. On Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, each yen contract covers 12,500,000 units of yen, and each pound contract covers to 62,500 units of pound. Each euro covers 125,000 units of euro, and Mexican pesos covered 500,000 units of Mexican pesos, and all of them are traded against the US dollars. On the Philadelphia exchange rate, the size is actually standardized size of the contract is different. For example, for the yen, each yen contract will cover 6,250,000 units of the Japanese yen. So depending on the exchange, the contract size can be different. The minimum price change is on tick basis, and it is one tick, means whatever is the existing price, if there will be a change in the price of the contract, it will change by the one tick, and the maximum change is 1%, which is also the 100 ticks, and it cannot be more than that. Now, just to clarify over here on the same slide, what does it mean over here with the contract size? So if you have 60,000 pounds and you want, you are expecting to receive it after 3 months, and you are Canadian businessman, you might need to sell this pound. You want to hedge your position, because if this is your asset currency and you are expecting that after 3 months, if it will depreciate, you may be at a loss, and in order to remain certain, you want to sell it in the through the future market. You cannot do it on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange unless you do put 2,500 more pounds and then sell it, because the standardized contract size is 62,500. The open interests are the number of the future contracts which are outstanding, and they will zeroized on the day of maturity. This is an important example that how forward and the future hedge, they are different from each other. For example, there is a distributor and he's sitting in USA and the manufacturer is sitting in Japan. Maybe the distributor distribute PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 coming PlayStation 5 in Europe, but he's sitting in US and his company is in US, and after 3 months he needs to pay the 37,500,000 Japanese yen, these units of Japanese yen, to the manufacturer in Japan, and so its liability currency is Japanese yen. So because he needs to pay the Japanese yen, and his asset currency is euro. After 3 months, he is expecting to receive from the retailer 250,000 euros. So what would he do? How the hedging will work when it comes to the forward contracts and the future contracts? Now, if these are the forward contracts, these are the forward rates of 3 months between the US dollar and Japanese yen, where each unit of Japanese yen is $0.008 and each unit of euro is equal to 1.2. Then let's see first of all how the forward work, and then we'll continue with the future as well. So in that case, first identify what should be your long position in. Your long, you will go long with Japanese yen because this is your liability currency. You need to pay in yen. What would be your short position? Your short position will be in euros. You need to sell euro and you need to buy the Japanese yen. How much euros? 250,000 euros. And how much Japanese yen you need to buy? 37,500,000. And in the foreign market, say the bank with which you are buying and selling buying the forward rates or selling the forward contract, not rate, contract, he only deals in dollar versus any other currency. So it means that you need to pay some dollars to buy these yen, and you need to receive some dollars by selling these euros. So in that case, if you multiply, because you needed to buy 37,500,000 Japanese yen, because this is what you eventually need to pay to the manufacturer. So if you multiply simply this 37,500,000 with this rate, you will get $300. So you will enter into one contract, forward contract, where you will be buying the Japanese yen and paying the $300,000 right? And in another contract, you will be forward contract, you will be now selling 250,000 euros. This one, because this was your asset currency, which you will be receiving after 3 months, but you need to convert that into your home currency, because again you are a US businessman, or your company is US based. So you will be selling your 250, and how much dollars you will be getting in return if the contract involves euro and the US dollars. So simply multiply this 250 with 1.2. You will be actually, so this is, you will be basically getting, so you will get the $300,000. So this is plus, and you will be paying this much, 300,000, to buy the Japanese yen, and this is what you are getting by converting your euros in the forward market, and by selling your euros, and you will get the US dollars. So let's see what will be happening over here. Yes, you will go long with yen and buy these much Japanese yen. You will go short with euros and sell these much euros. So in the forward hedge, as what I have told in the previous slide, that you will be buying one forward contract which gives you the 37,500,000 units of yen on a specific date, on a maturity date, which is actually after 3 months. And what you are doing, you are actually effectively delivering US dollars for the Japanese yen, and on the same date you are also basically selling one forward contract in the interbank market, where you agree to pay to a bank or any other party 250,000 euros and agrees to receive $300,000. What you will do in the future hedge, if you remember, in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, each future contract is covering only 12,500,000 units of Japanese yen. So if you buy 3 Japanese yen contracts, so if you multiply with this 3, you will be able to get 37,500,000 units of the Japanese yen after 3 months. At the same time, you will be selling 2 contracts of euros, because each contract of euros on the future exchange, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is of size of 125,000 units of euros. And if you multiply this with 2, you will be effectively able to sell all of your 250,000 euros, and you able to get the dollars, and then you will be paying the dollars to buy this much units of the yen. So this is a perfect hedge. Why it's a perfect hedge? Because exactly buying of 3 units, 3 contracts of futures, Japanese yen future contracts, you are able to actually get exact units which you needed to pay to your manufacturer sitting in Japan. And by selling exactly 2 contracts, you are able to pay your 250,000 euros. So if you have different currency, say 200,000 euros instead of 250,000, if this much you were expecting to receive, in that case you were able to only sell 1 future contract of euro, and then for remaining 75,000 euros you remain unhedged, right? So this is a very rare situation of perfect hedge, because in practical life mostly it happens that you do not get the perfect hedge through future market, and you might have to enter into the forward market to do your hedging, and to avoid the exchange rate risks. One very important concern over here also is the cost. Even if there is a perfect hedge, what about the cost? Over here we can see that there was only 2 transactions. There are 2 contracts which you entered into. One contract is the buying of 37,500,000 units of Japanese yen, and one contract involves selling of 250,000 units of euros. Over here there are 3 contracts of the Japanese yen to buy the 3 future contracts which allow you to get 37,500,000 Japanese yen units, and then 2 contracts where you are selling the 250,000 euros. So there are 5 transactions involved over here in case of future hedge. So now you need to see that what is the commission over here. If the commission over here is more in future hedge, then you will go ahead with the forward hedging only. Otherwise, if even after 5 contracts the commission is less, then go ahead with the future hedging rather the forward hedge. So it effectively comes to the cost and also the counterparty risk. There is almost no counterparty risk in the forward hedge. There is a counterparty risk involved. Now, what could be the possible solution of where they have so many transactions through the future hedge? Because even if there is a more cost involved, there is no counterparty risk, and you simply do not want to take any risk at all. In that case, you need to find the exchange which is actually doing the direct transaction between Japanese yen and euros. So no dollar is involved in between. So if these are the 2 rates on which the future transaction will happen, we can find the cross rate. Through the cross rate, we will find the rate between the euros and the Japanese yen. So this is the rate between the dollar and the Japanese yen. This is the, if you see, this is a direct quote for the American customer, and this is actually the direct quote for the second one, also the direct quote for the American customer, but one involved the Japanese yen and one involved the euro. Then using this, we can find these 2 individual rates. We can find the through the cross rate, we can able to find the exchange rate between the euro and the Japanese yen, and 1 unit of Japanese yen is equal to the 0.006667 units of the euros. Now, if you are able to find some exchange, say give it a name of ABC exchange, and on this ABC exchange, the contract size which covers the Japanese yen is rather 12.500 million. It's 18,075,000, right? Japanese yen. And for the euro, say it remains the same. So euro is 125,000 euros. So it is the same as Chicago Mercantile Exchange. But the good thing is that these 2 currencies can be directly exchanged with each other, and dollar is not involved in this exchange. And also the Japanese yen contract is contract size, standardized contract is increased from 12,500,000 units of Japanese yen to 18,750,000 of Japanese yen. In that case, if you see, you need to deliver the same 250,000 euros directly now, and you are able to get 37,500,000 units of Japanese yen, which you need to eventually pay to the manufacturer. So simply, if you multiply this 18,750,000 with 2, so you will be able to get this 37,500,000. And how much euros you need to pay? You simply multiply this 37,500,000 multiplied by 0.006667, so which is equal to approximately 250,000 euros. So you are actually entering only in 2 contracts where you are buying 2 future yen contracts, which will enable you to get 37,500,000 Japanese units, and you need to pay in return 250,000 units of euro. So this is one possible solution. Find such exchange where the transaction can be done directly between euro and Japanese yen. In this case, and through the cross rate, you'll be able to find the exchange rate between these 2 currencies. So what could be the problem? The same thing, the size. If let's suppose you need to pay 40 million units of Japanese yen, then the issue is that you can on Chicago Mercantile Exchange, your exchange, just give me a second. Exchange, you are able to get or buy only 3 contracts of Japanese yen, and that will give you, because the each contract cover 12,500,000, so you will be able to hedge your position of 37,500,000 units of yen. The rest 2,500,000 remain unhedged. So this is the size issue. Then what is the timing issue? Maybe the contract is expiring on 21st November, 21st November, and the actual transaction will take place on 30th November. So you may remain unhedged until 21st, but what about the next 9 days? It kills the purpose. And if, let's suppose, you remain hedged until 21st, and then you have the transaction happening on 20th November, then still you will remain hedged in that case. Even you are maybe paying for 1 extra day, but that is actually more desirable condition, but not this one. So the timing and maturity issue you need to consider. And finally, the currency. For example, like in the previous case, if on an exchange the contracts are available against dollar only, and you have, in fact, the better example is about the Indian rupees, say. So if you want to hedge your position where there are Indian rupees involved, it's very unlikely that you will get the future contracts which involve the Indian rupees, and in that case there is a currency mismatch, and you want to find the exchange where the contract involving the Indian rupees is traded. If not, then you might have to go into the forward market. So this concludes our lecture on the future contracts and how the future hedging is different than the forward hedging, and also I have mentioned the important differences between the future and the forward contracts. Thank you.